What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you how to add fog light jams to a fiberglass bumper. Now the bumper I'm going to be showing you is a homemade Jeep winch bumper I made for my Jeep, and this bumper does not come with fog light jams. It comes smooth in the front so that people who buy this can add their own custom fog light jams. So you can do, you know, 2 on each side or 1 on each side, just, you know, whatever fits your taste. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do that. So the first thing you want to do is buy your fog lights and make sure they'll, you know, fit within the design of whatever bumper you're doing. These ones I think these are 3.5 or 4 inch. I think they're 3.5. Actually, I think they're 3. But anyways, what you want to do is go to Walmart, or Home Depot. I got these from Home Depot. And get one of these. I think that's a urethane plastic mixing cup, and you want to make sure that your spotlight fits inside of it, like that, because this cup is going to be like the starting template for fiberglassing a jam in the bumper. So what we're going to do is trace the opening we're going to do onto the bumper just a little bit bigger than this is. I'm gonna probably do it a 1/4 inch bigger all the way around, and then draw it on the bumper. Alright, so there's the hole I'm gonna do. Now you can see the bumper is not, like, the bumper bends, you know what I mean? So like when I stick that on there, that cup is not facing forward like the fog light. You want the fog light to be facing at you, but since it goes on crooked like that, what I did is I traced the hole, and it actually, when I actually make the hole this way, it actually makes it more of an oval shape. So you can see where I did a dotted line, like that's where I traced it, but the dotted line's where I'm gonna cut it to, like, give it room to go in that way. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna do that on the other side. Like on your first side, just put it where it looks good, and then take measurements off of reference points to get on the exact same part on the other side. See where the cup is going to go, and then we can fiberglass the inside of that with this facing forward. Alright, as you can see, got the hole cut out, and it's kind of rough, but that's okay, because in the end you always seal the seam with, like, Bondo and stuff. But what I did is I put my fog light inside the cup, and I inserted it into the hole, but it's facing forward. You can see how much of it's poking out. The important thing is you want the edge of your fog light to not be poking up above the edge of the bumper. You want it to be, I mean, it's like just recessed just enough that it's not, the light won't be poking out this way. So that one's perfect. This side, however, when I was cutting, I just went just barely too big. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun trying to get this one to sit in place, because it just falls through, but I'll figure something out. Alright, I have the cups positioned in place, and then I masked the seam off all the way around on both sides. And just remember to keep checking that the bumper on this side still comes out further than your light. You want it to be like at least flush, if not like recessed a little bit further. But anyway, that gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. Now that that's ready to go, we can flip the bumper over and fiberglass around that cup. Alright, this is the inside of the bumper. Now, you can see where the light's shining through, and then that's where the fog light starts, and it comes back to about right here. So I'm going to fiberglass probably up to there. That way we have room to trim once it's cured. But you're going to fiberglass all the way around the cup, about, you know, halfway up. And you don't need to use mold release because fiberglass doesn't bond to this urethane plastic. So alright, so those are now fiberglassed in place all the way around on both sides. Now we're going to let that cure. Okay, the fiberglass is cured, and I popped out the cups. I had to destroy them to get them out because you have to like squeeze it in on itself. But and you can see it, like, it copied the ink from the cup into the resin. But anyways, that's what it looks like when you pop it out. I can set cut the spotlight in there. See how it's like nice. That's almost like nice and flush. I love it like that. That's perfect. So next, I'm gonna flip this over and trim the excess fiberglass, and then fiberglass mounts so that you can actually like mount the spotlight. Okay, so I've got the bumper flipped over and I've got the spotlight in there, and I'm holding it in place, holding on to these wires, and I'm gonna take a marker and trace just above the edge of the thing, edge of the spotlight, so it's got like some wiggle room, I guess, but you don't want it like right on there because you don't want to see a crack once it's like actually mounted. So I'm going to go up about a ½ inch above the spotlight and then trim it.
Okay, I got that trimming done. Now the next thing, I mean, it's not that even, so I'm going to get this palm sander that you get at Harbor Freight. Part number is 93431. I call this my to the point sander because it's very aggressive, and I'm going to stick that right over top of this, and that'll get the sanding like nice and even.
Okay, now that's like nice and smooth and flat now, so I got the spotlight positioned where I want it. You can see on this one, that's where it needs to mount, so I'm going to tape off this bottom half of the light, then I'm going to fiberglass right over top of that, and then once that's cured, I'm going to drill a hole so then like the bolt can like go through there. So, but for this part, since it's a mounting part, you want to do it kind of thick. So, okay, so I taped the back of the spotlight up, and I positioned them where I want them as best I could, and taped them in the jamb so that when I flip the bumper over, they don't fall out when I'm fiberglassing. So now I'm going to tip this over. Now I can fiberglass just these little spots right there. And once those are cured, then I can trim them and drill the hole, and then we can move on to bondoing the seam and sanding and actually making it look good. So. So let's see how that looks. That's pretty thick, so doesn't look that good, but I kept a sharp angle there because remember a bolt head's gonna go right there, so I'm gonna do that to all four sides. Alright, so I got that fiberglass right up to where it mounts. It doesn't look that good right now, but once I trim it, it'll look a lot better, especially once I drill the hole and everything. But anyways, once that cures, I'm gonna trim it. Okay, so those things have cured, and I use this tool here and trimmed the mounts and drilled the holes. But that's what it looks like. But now, as you can see, the light can move up next to those, and I can put the mounting bolt in there. So basically, that's it as far as actually making the jam goes and the little mounts. Next is making it look good, and so basically I'm just going to mix up some spot putty and some Bondo and just smear it all over on the inside of the seam right here, and then sand it and round this edge, and then primer it just to see what it looks like, and then we're done. As you can see, I have Bondoed the seam, and I went kind of heavy because once it's cured I want to round these edges a little bit so it kind of matches the round curves of the bumper. But anyways, once that cures, I'm going to sand it and primer it. Okay, so I have been sanding like crazy. And you can see it's coming along. That was my first round of sanding, so what I'm going to do next is just hit it with some cheap primer just to reveal where I need to go over next with spot putty filler. And then do the fine tuning sanding, and then it'll be done.